Welcome back to the channel, coin enthusiasts. Today we're exploring the most valuable 5-cent Australian coins. While these small silver-colored coins often go unnoticed in pockets and purses, some of them are now considered rare treasures in the collector's market, fetching big prices depending on the year, condition, and scarcity. Let's get started. First up, the 1989 Australian 5-cent coin may look like an ordinary piece of pocket change at first glance. But behind its small silver-gray frame lies a fascinating story that connects artistry, history, and numismatic value. Coins like this may have passed through countless hands over the decades, buying newspapers, sweets, and small necessities. But today they are seen as collectible treasures that carry a snapshot of Australia's identity in the late 20th century. When we look at the reverse design, we immediately notice the adorable yet fierce creature that has become iconic in Australian coinage, the echidna. Designed by Stuart Devlin, one of the most celebrated coin designers of his time, the echidna is curled around the denomination, its spines radiating outward in intricate detail. This design has graced the 5-cent coin since the introduction of decimal currency in 1966, and its precision makes it one of the most loved designs in the entire series. On the obverse, we find the familiar face of Queen Elizabeth II, but this time represented through the elegant portrait created by Raphael Maklauf, which was introduced in 1985. The Queen is depicted wearing the royal diadem, her features more mature and regal compared to earlier portraits. This obverse design appeared on Australian coins until 1998, making the 1989 issue a part of that important numismatic era. Collectors today value these coins as markers of different stages in the Queen's reign. The specifications of the 1989 5-cent coin are simple but remarkable in their consistency. It is struck from cupronickel, 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a hard, durable surface that has allowed many coins to survive in circulation to this day. The coin weighs 2.83 grams, measures 19.41 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of 1.30 millimeters. Its edge is plain, distinguishing it from higher denominations while keeping it practical for everyday transactions. As for the mintage, around 80.8 million 5-cent coins were produced in 1989. This large number makes the coin common in circulation, but what really matters to collectors is not how many were struck. It's how many have survived in top condition. Most 1989 coins you see today are heavily circulated, worn down, and scratched. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is significantly rarer and far more valuable to numismatists. The condition of a coin is absolutely critical when determining its worth. A 1989 5-cent coin in circulated condition, like the one you describe, generally trades close to its face value, perhaps a few cents to $1 depending on eye appeal. But when we step into higher grades, the picture changes dramatically. Coins that have retained their original shine, show sharp detail in the Queen's portrait and the echidna's quills, and have no marks or blemishes can fetch $5 to $15, sometimes more in auctions or when graded professionally. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting the 1989 5-cent coin is the possibility of encountering a mint error. These errors include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. While incredibly rare, error coins can turn an ordinary 5-cent piece into a collector's dream. Some of these error versions have sold for hundreds of dollars, proving that even small denominations can carry big surprises. For many Australians, the 5-cent coin carries a sense of nostalgia. It was once a workhorse of the currency system, used daily for transport fares, groceries, and all manner of small purchases. By 1989, the coin was already more than 2 decades into its decimal journey, making it an everyday presence in pockets and purses across the country. Today, with inflation reducing its buying power and whispers about the denomination being phased out in the future, the 1989 issue stands as a reminder of how much has changed in just a few decades. From a historical standpoint, the 1989 coin sits at an interesting point in Australian numismatics. It reflects a time when Australia was still deeply tied to traditional coinage designs, but was beginning to experiment more with commemoratives in other denominations. The 5-cent coin remained unchanged in its design, offering a sense of stability and continuity amidst a decade of economic and cultural shifts. When it comes to collector demand, the 5-cent coin is often underestimated because of its small size and low face value. Yet seasoned collectors know that every denomination plays a role in telling Australia's story. Completing a year set of coins without the 1989 5-cent would leave a noticeable gap. This constant demand ensures that even coins considered common continue to have value in the numismatic marketplace. Looking at the market value today, circulated coins in average condition usually sell for very little, around face value. However, coins in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition can easily reach $10 to $20 depending on buyer interest. Professionally graded coins, where every detail is preserved, may go even higher. And, of course, rare error coins remain the true jackpot finds, capable of reaching hundreds of dollars at auction. For collectors and investors, the real potential of the 1989 5-cent coin lies in long-term appreciation. As time passes, fewer high-quality coins survive, and demand for complete collections grows. Those who take the time to secure pristine examples today may find their investments paying off handsomely in the future. It may not make you a millionaire overnight, but it could certainly play a role in building a valuable collection that grows in worth year after year. Ultimately, the 1989 Australian 5-cent coin represents much more than its modest denomination suggests. It embodies artistry, history, and the enduring spirit of a nation told through its currency. From the echidna's timeless design to the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, this coin captures a snapshot of Australia in 1989. Whether kept as part of a complete collection or admired as a piece of nostalgia, it has a charm and value that goes beyond its face. The 1989 5-cent coin stands as proof that even the smallest denominations can hold big stories. In circulated condition, it may only be worth cents, but in the right grade, or with the right error, it can be worth dollars, or even hundreds. For collectors, this little coin is a treasure waiting to be discovered. And for those who cherish the journey of numismatics, it is another step toward a collection that could one day be worth a fortune. Next up, the 1977 Australian 5-cent coin might look like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but behind its small silver shine lies a story that connects history, design, and collectability. Even though it was minted in the millions and passed through countless Australian hands, today this coin is something more, a collectible piece of Australia's rich numismatic heritage. For those who understand its story, the 1977 5-cent can be more than just small change. It can be a hidden gem waiting to be rediscovered. When Australia shifted to decimal currency in 1966, the 5-cent coin was introduced as a replacement for the old pre-decimal sixpence. By 1977, decimal currency had been in circulation for just over a decade, and the 5-cent coin was already a familiar part of daily life. Yet, coins from the 1970s carry a special charm because they were struck in huge numbers for a young nation embracing its modern currency system. The 1977 issue stands out as part of this transformative period. The reverse design of the 1977 5-cent coin features the echidna, one of Australia's most extraordinary native animals. With its spiny coat and long snout, the echidna is one of only 2 egg-laying mammals in the world, making it a perfect symbol of Australia's unique wildlife. Designed by the legendary coin artist Stuart Devlin, the echidna design is detailed and textured, showing the animal curled around the large numeral 5. Devlin's work continues to be admired for its ability to capture nature in miniature metal canvases. On the obverse side, the coin bears the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, as sculpted by Arnold Machin. This portrait, used from 1966 until 1984, shows a young queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The portrait conveys elegance, formality, and the strong ties between Australia and the Crown at that time. For collectors, this Machin portrait is iconic because it represents the early decades of Australia's decimal coinage. The specifications of the 1977 5-cent coin were consistent with other issues of the denomination. It was minted in cupronickel, an alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it durability and its silvery appearance. The coin weighs 2.83 grams, measures 19.41 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain edge. Though small, It is one of the most recognizable coins in Australian currency, and its size and composition have never changed since 1966. The mintage for the 1977 5-cent coin was substantial, with around 45.6 million pieces released into circulation. That makes it a common coin in everyday terms, but condition changes everything in the world of coin collecting. Most of those millions were heavily used, scratched, and worn down over time, meaning that high-grade or visually appealing examples are significantly rarer and more valuable today. Your coin's blue circulated condition adds an interesting twist. Over time, cupronickel coins can develop different tones due to oxidation, storage, and environmental exposure. This blue tinting gives the coin an unusual appearance that some collectors find attractive, almost like a natural patina that tells its own story of age and circulation. While not as valuable as a brilliant uncirculated coin, such distinct toning can make a piece unique. In terms of value, a standard circulated 1977 5-cent coin is usually worth face value, or just a few cents to perhaps $1 depending on condition. However, in very fine to uncirculated grades, values rise. Collectors might pay between $5 and $20 for a pristine example. If the coin is a proof strike from a collector's set, values can climb higher. And if you were to find a genuine minting error from 1977, such as an off-center strike or a double die, values could jump into the hundreds of dollars. The real treasure hunt comes with error coins. Some 5-cent coins from the 1970s are known with striking errors that make them incredibly rare. These are the coins that can sometimes surprise collectors and sellers alike, fetching hundreds or even thousands at auction. While it's rare for a 1977 5-cent coin to make you a millionaire on its own, the right error or pristine specimen could certainly bring a serious payday. Another fascinating layer of the coin story is the historical context of 1977. This was the year of Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee, marking her 25 years on the throne. While the commemorative 50-cent coin was struck for the event, the 5-cent coin shares the same queen's portrait, anchoring it firmly in the celebrations of that year. Holding one of these coins is like holding a small reminder of Australia's role in a global royal celebration. Collectors today look at coins like the 1977 5-cent not only for their monetary value, but for their emotional and historical appeal. Many Australians who grew up in the 1970s remember buying lollies, bus fares, and comic books with 5-cent coins. That nostalgia is a big part of why these coins continue to be collected, even when their base value seems small. It's not just about money, it's about memories. From an investment standpoint, the demand for small denomination coins has been growing as collectors realize their importance. While 50-cent and $1 commemorative coins often steal the spotlight, humble 5-cent coins are increasingly seen as worthy additions to serious collections. Over time, this growing demand could push values higher, especially for uncirculated and error examples. The 1977 5-cent coin is a wonderful example of how even the smallest coins can carry big stories and surprising value. With its striking echidna design, its connection to a royal milestone year, and its potential in high grades or as an error coin, it is more than just pocket change. It is a tiny treasure from Australia's numismatic journey. While your blue circulated 1977 5-cent coin may not make you a millionaire overnight, it is part of a fascinating chapter in Australian coin history. Its appeal lies not just in its dollar value, but in the story it tells, of design excellence, of Australia's wildlife, of history, and of the countless hands it passed through before finding its way to you. For the right collector, every coin, no matter how small, can be priceless. Next up, the 1967 Australian 5-cent coin is more than just a piece of metal. It is a symbol of Australia's bold transition into the modern era of decimal currency. Introduced only a year after the nation abandoned the old pounds, shillings, and pence system in 1966, this coin became one of the cornerstones of daily Australian life. For many Australians, it was the coin that jingled in their school lunch money, paid for tram fares, or was tucked away in piggy banks. Yet today it carries a value far beyond its small denomination. The coin's reverse design is one of the most beloved in Australian coinage. Created by the renowned goldsmith and coin designer Stuart Devlin, it features the echidna, one of Australia's most curious native creatures. With its spiny body and distinctive snout, the echidna is shown curled around the large numeral 5, a design that perfectly captures both the uniqueness of Australian wildlife and the modern aesthetic of decimal coinage. Devlin, who designed every decimal coin introduced in 1966, gave Australia a coin that is still instantly recognizable today. On the obverse, the coin features the young effigy of Queen Elizabeth II sculpted by Arnold Machin. This portrait, used on Australian coins from 1966 until 1984, shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It is regal, refined, and representative of the ties between Australia and the Commonwealth at the time. For many collectors, the Machin portrait is one of the most iconic in modern coinage history. The specifications of the 1967 5-cent coin were designed to ensure durability and ease of circulation. It was struck in cupronickel, an alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance while being resistant to wear and corrosion. The coin weighs 2.83 grams, has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, and a plain edge. Its small size made it convenient for everyday transactions, yet it also gave it a certain charm as one of the smallest denominations in the decimal system. The mintage figures for the 1967 5-cent coin were massive, with approximately 83.6 million coins produced for circulation. This large number reflected the need to supply the growing Australian population with decimal coins during the early years of the system. While this makes the coin relatively common in worn circulated grades, finding examples in very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated condition is much rarer and highly sought after today. Your coin being in very fine condition is significant. Coins in this grade still retain strong design detail, with only moderate signs of wear on the echidna's spines and the Queen's portrait. Collectors often look for coins that maintain their original sharpness, and very fine examples of early decimal coins like the 1967 5-cent stand out in a collection because they show their age while preserving beauty. The value of a 1967 5-cent coin varies depending on condition. In heavily circulated grades, it often trades for little more than face value, perhaps around 20 to 50 cents to casual collectors. In very fine condition, however, the coin can fetch $2 to $5. In extremely fine to uncirculated grades, the value rises sharply, with prices ranging from $10 to $40 or more, depending on quality. Proof issues from 1967, which were struck with special care for collectors, can sell for $50 to $100 plus. What truly excites collectors, however, are error coins from 1967. Some known errors include off-center strikes, broad strikes, or double strikes, which can elevate a coin's value into the hundreds of dollars. These errors are rare survivors from the minting process and are highly prized in the numismatic market. For the lucky few who find such a coin, the small 5-cent piece could indeed be worth a fortune. The historical significance of the 1967 issue also boosts its appeal. As the first full year of decimal 5-cent coin production, it has a special place in collections. Collectors often want first-year examples when building complete decimal sets, and 1967 provides that milestone. It marks the moment Australia was fully embracing its modern coinage system, leaving behind centuries of the imperial pound-shilling-pence tradition. Beyond its monetary value, the coin also carries cultural and emotional significance. Many Australians still recall their earliest encounters with decimal coins in the late 1960s and 1970s, and holding a 1967 5-cent piece can spark memories of a simpler time. This nostalgia factor fuels demand among collectors and ensures that the coin will always hold a cherished place in Australia's numismatic story. The global collector market has also taken notice of early Australian decimal coins. With Australia's strong international reputation for unique wildlife and beautiful coin designs, collectors outside the country often seek out these early issues. That means demand doesn't only come from within Australia, but also from a worldwide audience who admire the artistry and history of coins like the 1967 5-cent. From an investment perspective, the 1967 5-cent coin may not seem like an obvious millionaire maker at first glance, but its potential lies in rarity of condition and error varieties. Those who have carefully preserved uncirculated rolls, proof coins, or who stumble across rare minting mistakes, could find themselves holding coins worth hundreds or even thousands over time. The long-term trend suggests that as fewer high-grade coins survive, values will only continue to climb. Ultimately, the 1967 Australian 5-cent coin is a perfect example of how even the smallest denomination can tell the biggest stories. It represents the birth of Australia's decimal system, showcases the nation's wildlife and stunning artistry, and connects generations through shared experience. Whether collected for history, design, or value, it remains one of the most iconic and important small coins in Australia's modern coinage. Your very fine 1967 5-cent coin is not just a humble piece of change. It is a living artifact of Australia's transformation, a canvas of national pride, and a coin with real collector demand. While it may not instantly make you a millionaire, its beauty, rarity, and higher grades, and potential as an error or proof issue ensure that it holds both sentimental and financial worth. For those who look closely, this coin proves that even the smallest denomination can leave the biggest impression. Next up, the 1969 Australian 5-cent coin is part of the early era of Australia's decimal currency system, which was introduced in 1966 to replace the traditional pounds, shillings, and pence. By 1969, decimal coinage was still relatively new, and these coins played a key role in helping Australians adapt to their modern currency system. Small, lightweight, and widely circulated, the 5-cent coin became a cornerstone of daily life, used in everything from public transport fares to everyday shopping. One of the most iconic features of this coin is its reverse design, created by Stuart Devlin, who designed the entire first series of Australian decimal coins. The coin showcases the echidna, one of Australia's most distinctive native animals. The echidna is depicted curled protectively around the large numeral 5, its spiny body providing texture and detail that makes the design instantly recognizable. Devlin's work gave Australian coins an identity that celebrated the country's wildlife and natural heritage, making the 5-cent coin both functional and artistic. On the obverse, the 1969 issue carries the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II sculpted by Arnold Machin. This version of Her Majesty shows her wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an image used on Australian coins from 1966 to 1984. The Machin portrait is graceful, regal, and symbolic of Australia's Commonwealth connections during the 20th century. For collectors, this portrait era is iconic, as it represents the early years of Australia's modern coinage. The specifications of the 1969 5-cent coin mirror those of other coins in the series. It was struck in cupronickel, a durable alloy composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin a silver-like appearance while also resisting corrosion. The coin weighs 2.83 grams, has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, and features a plain edge. Its small size made it one of the most practical coins for everyday use, although its low face value often meant that it was overlooked and heavily circulated. When it comes to mintage, the 1969 5-cent coin had a production of approximately 39.5 million pieces, making it a relatively common issue at the time. However, decades of circulation have taken their toll, and finding well-preserved examples is now a challenge. Most surviving coins are found in circulated condition with heavy wear, scratches, and discoloration. Coins in higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, are significantly rarer and highly sought after. Your coin being in circulated condition means it bears noticeable wear from years of handling. The details on the echidna's spines and the queen's hair may appear flattened, and the luster would likely be gone. While circulated coins are generally less valuable, they still carry strong collector interest because of their age, history, and role in Australia's decimal transition. For everyday collectors, a circulated 1969 coin is a necessary piece to complete a decimal set. In terms of value, a heavily circulated 1969 5-cent coin usually sells for 20 cents to $1, depending on its exact condition. Coins in better circulated states or very fine grades may bring $2 to $5. Uncirculated examples, which are extremely difficult to find, can be worth $20 to $50 or more. Collectors who are building pristine decimal sets often compete fiercely for uncirculated pieces, driving up their market value. What makes the 1969 5-cent coin even more exciting is the potential for error coins. Like many coins of its time, there were occasional minting mistakes such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets. These rare varieties can transform a small 5-cent coin into a highly valuable treasure, sometimes worth hundreds of dollars depending on the severity and clarity of the error. For keen-eyed collectors, hunting for such oddities in everyday change can be both thrilling and profitable. The historical significance of the 1969 issue also enhances its appeal. Being part of the first decade of decimal coinage, it represents an important moment in Australia's monetary history. Collectors value coins from the 1960s not only for their age, but also because they are tied to the story of Australia's transition to modern money. The 1969 issue, in particular, shows the maturity of the system just 3 years after its introduction. Beyond the numbers and design, the 1969 5-cent coin carries a cultural weight. It reminds Australians of a time when the cost of living was dramatically different, when a handful of coins could buy a bus ticket, a newspaper, or a loaf of bread. This nostalgic factor plays a role in its collectability. Many collectors pursue these coins not only for financial value, but also for the personal and historical connections they evoke. The global market for Australian coins has also added to the demand. International collectors are often drawn to coins featuring unique wildlife, and the echidna design remains one of the most charming among Australia's decimal series. As a result, the 1969 5-cent coin attracts attention far beyond Australian shores, giving it a broader collector base and helping to support its long-term value. While it may not seem like a millionaire-making coin on the surface, the investment potential of the 1969 5-cent coin lies in its condition rarity and error varieties. Collectors who manage to secure pristine uncirculated rolls or rare minting mistakes can find themselves with coins worth far more than their tiny face value. Over time, as fewer high-grade examples survive, the value of this coin will continue to climb steadily. The enduring appeal of the 1969 Australian 5-cent coin lies in its balance of history, design, and accessibility. It is small enough to seem ordinary, yet it represents an important era in Australian life and currency. Collectors treasure it for its wildlife design, its place in the decimal story, and its potential to grow in value. Whether circulated or pristine, it holds an undeniable charm that ensures it remains a staple of any serious collection. Your 1969 circulated 5-cent coin is far more than a simple piece of pocket change. It is a tangible reminder of Australia's leap into the decimal system, a showcase of Devlin's brilliant design, and a coin with steady collector demand. While its circulated state means it won't make you a millionaire overnight, the right error coin or uncirculated find could change everything. For now, it stands as an enduring little treasure of history, proof that even the smallest coin can leave the biggest impression. Next up, the 5-cent coin of 1980 belongs to Australia's early decimal coinage, which had already been in use for just over a decade since its introduction in 1966. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, the 5-cent coin was a staple of daily life in Australia. It was small, practical, and handled millions of everyday transactions, from vending machines to public transport fares. The 1980 issue reflects a period when the coin was at the height of its usefulness and circulation, making it a common sight in every wallet and pocket. The reverse design, created by master engraver Stuart Devlin, showcases one of Australia's most distinctive creatures, the echidna. Curled protectively around the numeral 5, the echidna design became an instant classic of the decimal series. Its spiny detail gives texture and character, and to this day, it remains unchanged, making it one of the most enduring designs in Australian coinage. This timeless artwork is why many collectors hold a special appreciation for even the most common 5-cent coins. On the obverse side, the 1980 issue features the Arnold Machin portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This portrait, introduced in 1966, shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and it graced Australian coins until 1984. By 1980, this portrait had already become iconic, symbolizing continuity, authority, and Australia's Commonwealth heritage. The Mackin effigy is elegant and remains one of the most collected versions of the Queen's image on coins. As for specifications, the 1985-cent coin follows the standard details of the series. It was struck in cupronickel, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives it a silver-colored appearance under normal conditions. The coin weighs 2.83 grams, has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, and a plain edge. Interestingly, coins found today in unusual hues, like your example in a red-tone condition, are often the result of environmental exposure, chemical reactions, or prolonged storage in certain materials. While not a mint variety, these colorations make each coin visually unique, appealing to some niche collectors. When it comes to mintage, the 1985-cent coin had an enormous production run, with more than 83 million coins struck for circulation. This massive number means that the coin is far from rare in its base form. However, because of its high circulation, finding examples in higher grades such as uncirculated or in mint rolls has become increasingly difficult, as most were used heavily in commerce. Collectors today pay attention to condition above all else when it comes to common-date 5-cent coins like this one. Your coin in red circulated condition tells its own story. The red color is typically the result of copper oxidation or environmental staining, where the copper element in cupronickel reacts over decades. While this does not increase its numismatic value in the traditional sense, it does give the coin an eye-catching uniqueness. Some collectors enjoy such toned coins for their individuality, while others seek only pristine silver-toned examples. Either way, it makes your coin stand out from the millions minted. In terms of market value, a 1980 circulated 5-cent coin is usually worth 5 to 20 cents, depending on its wear. Coins in very fine condition might fetch $1 to $3, while those in uncirculated condition can reach $10 to $20 or more. Collectors particularly prize coins with full mint luster and sharp detail, which are extremely rare given how heavily these coins were used. In bulk, circulated examples are often sold in large lots for hobbyists or starter collectors. Where the real excitement lies, however, is in the possibility of minting errors and varieties. Some 1985-cent coins have been found with off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets, all of which can dramatically increase their value. Error coins from this era have sold for anywhere between $50 and several $100s, depending on the severity and rarity of the mistake. Spotting such an error in your change could indeed turn an ordinary coin into a mini fortune. The historical context also adds richness to the 1985-cent coin. This was a time of global transition, with Australia itself experiencing significant cultural and economic change. Decimal coins like the 5-cent piece symbolized modernity and convenience, while also rooting themselves in the national identity by featuring native fauna. Each 1980 coin, therefore, is a tiny time capsule of that era, a reminder of what life cost and how money moved through society. Collectors often look at the long-term potential of coins like the 1980 issue. While the base value is low today, high-grade or error varieties are expected to appreciate as more collectors build complete decimal series. With each passing year, uncirculated examples become scarcer, and their prices climb steadily. Those who invest in bulk rolls or hunt down flawless specimens can position themselves well for future demand. The international appeal of the 1985-cent coin should not be overlooked. Global collectors love coins that feature animals, and the echidna design is unlike anything in world numismatics. For this reason, foreign buyers often seek out even common-date Australian 5-cent coins, especially in pristine condition. This international demand supports values and ensures that coins like the 1980 issue retain strong collector interest well beyond Australian borders. The millionaire factor comes into play not with ordinary circulated examples, but with rare finds and errors. Imagine stumbling upon a 1985-cent coin with a dramatic off-center strike, or one struck on the wrong planchet. These unusual pieces have fetched thousands of dollars at auction. While the odds are slim, the thrill of possibility is what keeps collectors digging through boxes of small change in search of the ultimate prize. Ultimately, the 1980 Australian 5-cent coin in circulated red condition is a piece that combines everyday history with numismatic charm. It is common enough to be affordable, yet unique enough to capture interest, especially when found in unusual tones or with minting errors. For collectors, it represents both accessibility and hidden potential, reminding us that even the smallest denomination can hold stories of value. In conclusion, your 1980 red-toned circulated 5-cent coin is more than just pocket change. It is a witness to decades of Australian history, an artwork featuring the resilient echidna, and a collectible with growing appeal. While its circulated condition means it won't instantly make you a millionaire, the right error or pristine example from this year absolutely could. This coin is proof that sometimes the tiniest treasures hide the biggest opportunities.